All right, we are live. What is going on? Bit of lag on my side of my computer. My fans are running pretty hot today. But anyways, this is probably the last time I'm shooting from well, this is the last time I'm going live from Boston. So I'll be back in my LA apartment as well next this week. But just want to check in with y'all. How are you guys doing today? What is going on? If you're new to this weekly Q&A every single Sunday around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I always do a live stream just to check in and whatnot, and just do a little meta bonding time as well. We talk about everything from digital marketing, from pharmacy to what's going on in my life, and seeing the new ideas that you guys want to catch up on. I think right now, like today's the Super Bowl. At the time of this recording, I don't watch football. I don't pretend to watch football or anything like that, so I have no idea what's happening on this end. But if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to drop some likes. Would really appreciate it. It will really boost the algorithm on my channel. And honestly, our videos have been doing pretty well, like relative to the recent changes of the algorithm and stuff. So I'm really, really happy. My Why I'm Single at 30 is doing really well. I think, what else did I do? What other video? I did PA versus PA, and then I had an optometry video do really, really well. I think direction of channel too is like sharing a lot more personal stuff too that's going on in my life. I've just been going through I say this a lot, but I don't want to say rough times, but I'll put it like this. I haven't been going through the best of times at the moment as well. So I want to take you through that. I also want to take you through one of the biggest goals this year for me is actually get my purple belt in jiu-jitsu as well. I don't know how far I am away from that, but I think really doing a deep dive behind the scenes of that, running my business, especially my coaching business. So I'm actually taking applicants at the moment. So if you guys are into high ticket closing or want to start a career off in that, you can go to kaizenclosing.com/coaching. And there's that. That's my shameless plug of the day. I also need to shoot my or write my weekly newsletter as well, which I haven't done. I'll release that tomorrow as well. So there's that. So I'm going to answer some questions really quick. And what I want to do also is to upload a quick thumbnail as well. I'm trying to see if like doing thumbnails on these videos actually is like worth it or not. So I've been trying to find my style in terms of thumbnail, and I think I've kind of found it more recently. But love to kind of hear your take on my thumbnails. Do you think they're trash? Do you think they're fire recently? And you can compare it to my old ones as well. So let's dive into comments really quick. Hey Kevin, how do you feel about video games and how much space should they take up of our time? What do other coaches think about this? I thought I read roaches for a second, man. Great question, Alex. I used to be a huge gamer, and I think like I still have that gamer. Hold on, will this speed up everything? Oh yeah, and I think there's like a huge kind of gamer in me too. Like a lot of time I watch like playthroughs, run throughs of video games and stuff like that. But I realize that takes up a lot of time too, and I don't think like if you play video games you're like not productive. It really comes down to this, whether are you blocking time off for the things that you love, and is video games one of those things that you really love? Because one of the things that I'm slowly realizing too is because there's sacrifices when you say yes to video games. What are you saying no to? And you might love a bunch of different things. For me, I was walking with one of my really good friends. We used to go to college together. He used to be like a huge Street Fighter. He's really good. He used to play like Justin Wong. If you guys are familiar with him, he used to play him in tournaments and stuff like that, or maybe one or two times. But he's pretty good, you know. And recently he was like, dude, this is such a waste of my life. It was fun at the time, but if you look at it, it's just like pressing buttons for like hours and hours a day. For what? You're not really building anything. But sometimes like doing things just for fun or not having a purpose behind it, that's okay too. And so I think like it's just like some things like jujitsu. So the key for me is like I want to find hobbies that can tackle two areas of my life, at least, like health, wealth, and relationships. If it does all three, that's even better. So for example, like business, when I do business, like relationships, it really helps out because I get to connect with people that I really like, and find better friends and all that as well, like for business wise. For health, sorry, and then for also like wealth, obviously doing business increases my wealth. The more JV partners I can do as well, the better as well. So there's that. So jujitsu is the same way. Like jujitsu doesn't add to my pocket in terms of wealth, but it does help me improve my relationships with like other men. It does help me improve my health too. So I'm really looking forward to get back into it. I don't know if 10 Planet is still open in LA, but if I do go to Vegas, I'm probably going to be training out there as well. So there's things like that. So, you know, video games, if you're in a community, you're making really great friends, might be really worth it. If not, um, it's not to say bad, but for me, that's what I look for as well. There's that. Patrick Morty says, I got a pharmacist job in Central Coast. Okay, cool. Congrats, man. What are you doing? What kind of contract job did you get? Was it like one of those immunization pharmacist ones? What's happening with that at the moment? So I'm glad that you found a job. I know, let's see, who was I talking about? I was on Clubhouse. If you guys don't know, I've been on Clubhouse pretty recently, and I was talking to a few pharmacists and stuff, and or pharmacy students and stuff. And I think like the growing sentiment is like the worry of not finding a job and stuff like that as well. The same issues always come up is like, how do we continue adding value as a pharmacist and all that. And I think at the end of the day, like a lot of new students are just worried about paying off their loans. I actually spoke to a viewer recently. He was actually one of my, I found out, I spoke at an event. He welcomed me there, but he was really cool. And we still talk even after all these years, but he still wanted my advice about like the pharmacy market, what he should do. So it was really, really cool to see, to hear his take on like how he feels about everything. Sometimes it just gets so overwhelming, not feeling like you don't have too many choices and stuff like that with your career, or having this uncertainty. um yeah, I mean, that's life, man. I was just telling him like, even right now I'm going through like quite a bit too, man. Like not so much like job security wise, but just uncertainty. Like there's so many things on the table in terms of opportunities and stuff, but you can't do it all. It's a pick and choose type of thing, which is a great problem to have. But that's just been what I've been going through as well. So, congrats, Patrick, for getting your contract for getting your job in Central Coast. I don't know why I read contract job for some reason. I think I misread. Um, let's see. Halil says, any last minute tips for interviews? I don't want to sound rehearsed, but I want to make sure I have things on my mind to grab. How I like to. Oh, Halil. Uh, so keep in mind, like, always take my advice with a grain of salt, y'all. Like, I wouldn't hold me to like the best residency questions or like how to answer really well. But I mean, I've been in enough like residency, like I've been in enough interviews to get a good idea of like the stories I want to tell. So first of all, what I like to think is, what I like to understand are like, what are the immediate goals or initiatives that you want to get out of this place, or even better, think about like what are their major goals and initiatives, especially in pharmacy. You may not know, but I think it's a good chance to ask about that. Now, they're going to ask you different questions about, hey, how, like typical interview questions, like how have you demonstrated leadership in the past, challenges, all that. You should have relevant stories like ready to go, because you can say that, yes, I'm responsible. Yes, I'm hardworking. Yes, like I'm knowledgeable in this area. The next question in their head is always going to be how. And really, the best way to do to kind of the best way to demonstrate how without actually physically showing them is kind of through storytelling, honestly, right? So I use a very simple format: situation, obstacle, result. Situation, obstacle, action, result. So like, situation was, what was the situation that you're in? Obstacle, what was the resistance or problem that you're facing? uh action is like the actions you took, and what's the result of that action, good or bad. Sometimes we learn a lot more from things that didn't go so well than the things that did went really really well. So that's just food for thought. um yeah, just off the top of my head. But also it's really important to understand, like, what do you want out of this? What, like, why is this important to you? And I think that goes back into your USP. How can you contribute back into organization, business, or whatever as well? So that's like one of the things I think about as well, on there. So those things, they all build your unique selling proposition as well. So there's that. We got a lot of people. We got 11 people, especially on Super Bowl Sunday, y'all. Like, really appreciate it. A lot of people are, I don't know if a lot of people are out due to COVID and stuff, but it's really cool to see so many people like hopping in. If you guys are hopping in, make sure to drop a like, drop a question. If you want to do a Q&A, doesn't have to be pharmacy related. It can be anything that is on top of your head. Let's shoot the shit. This is my last live stream in Boston, so headed back to LA pretty soon, just to pack some things up, sell some things. And I don't know where I'm going to be next. That's the beautiful thing about life. I'm looking forward to whatever comes my way, man. So there's that. Alex Johnson says, I like to break productivity down like this: health, wealth, relationships, environment, knowledge. It sounds like you do something very similar. Yeah, even productivity, like, I don't think of it as productivity. I think of it as like, what are the core elements of my life? Like, and there's subcategories within it, like health. I mean, obviously it comes down to like workouts, obviously workouts, like mental health, and then like there mental health, and like also diet and stuff like that. So there's like, breaks down into smaller categories, but from a macro sense, I only focus on those three things, like health, wealth, and relationships. In my opinion, things like relationships and environment, those things like knowledge and environment enrich one of those things, right? Sometimes it's a knowledge gap that's preventing you from your health, or sometimes you have a really shitty environment. I think that's one of the things I like about being by myself, is like, it forces me to become the best person I can be. And that's just an environment I just need to be back in, as well. It's been really nice spending all this time with my mom and my family and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just ready to get back out there and just like, I don't know, there's just eat what you kill. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of nervousness in me going back to California too. Like, in terms of, I'm starting off with a new client. Am I going to perform and all that? I have like a few coaching students for my high ticket program, or my coaching program for high ticket sales, and building a high ticket program. So there's that. There's the relationship part of my life where, if I do move to Vegas or outside the state, how am I going to fill that gap within, or that missing gap within myself? There's a lot of things that are on my mind that are kind of worrying me, but then I just kind of take a step back and just remember, like, hey, Kevin, you're smart. You've been in really rough situations. You can figure things out, and you don't need to think so much. You have all your goals written down. You just need to focus on the next step and what's going to help you get to those goals. Nothing is permanent in life. And so you can always, it's a double-edged sword, right? Things can get a lot worse sometimes, but things can be a lot better too. And if it does end up being worse, you learn a lesson, and that's kind of like stoic thought. You just build your grit up, and it's something that I believe, like, I'm still always learning to kind of build for myself as well. Like, trying to, sometimes I just, like, for example, jujitsu is a great idea. Sometimes you just don't want to fight, and you're just like, you want to bitch out, but it's like, we have those moments, and sometimes we tap out early, sometimes we don't, sometimes we grind it out, but over time you build this grit, and that's something I'm definitely working on this year as well. So there's that. Help with a pharmacy tech interview. I have an interview tomorrow for CVS. What types of questions will they ask? I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of questions that they'll ask in terms of text and stuff like that. I didn't handle, actually never did. Surprisingly, all my years in pharmacy, we never did a new hire, actually. Think about it. I figure it's like the basic interview questions. I'm pretty sure you can Google it. You can find out those things, man. I don't know. I'm not qualified to do those questions, but I mean, there's probably a set standard of questions that they always ask, like where you, I don't know, demonstrate challenges, leadership, that sort of thing. Where do you want to be with the company and stuff? Why something like this company? It's like stuff like that. But dude, don't go. I wouldn't ask myself for those type of questions. It's been so long since I went on a tech interview, dude. Last time I was on a tech interview was 14 years ago. So definitely a lot of things can change. You should ask someone who's probably more relevant, who's currently working at CVS, who is a technician as well. But if anybody has any insight, feel free to drop them in. But I don't know. Alex says, what makes you need to be in California right now? It seems like more people are able to work from home. In terms of California, I would say like some of the things that I aligned all my goals this year in terms of like my business, in terms of business connections and like business connections, romantic relationships, platonic relationships, even gym goals too, all in California. Just because of the pure network of people, like I mean, a lot of people say like, "Yo, LA people are trash" or "California people are trash." That's not my experience, surprisingly. I actually have a lot of amazing friends in LA, and I disagree with a lot of people who say that sort of stuff too. You know, um, but I really love my friends out there, and I haven't felt like this in a long time. For example, I'm back home right now. Not to say I don't love my friends back here, man, at all. I care about my friends a lot back here in Boston and stuff, but it's just different. Like I feel like a lot more of my entrepreneurial friends are out in California. There's no snow. There's like the best jujitsu in the world. It's just like earlier. You're talking about environment, and I just feel like California right now probably has like one of the best environments for that hustle mentality as well. So that's why I'm choosing a compromise, maybe between like Las Vegas or something, just because lower cost of living, tax situation. I'll be closer to my uncle, and plus, like I can always go back if I really wanted to, and it's not a huge pain in the ass. So that's kind of my thoughts about California. But I'm really connected to people, and like I just love the environment of California. But I haven't been back in a long time, so I don't know if it's completely fallen apart. Um, and plus, like more importantly, more recently, I might be losing my lease for my apartment, so I have to start thinking about how I want to liquidate some of my stuff, selling it and moving out, which really sucks because honestly, like I was anticipating staying in that apartment for many years actually. So fucking sucks, but I just gotta deal with it honestly. Like that it just sucks, you know. That was the original expectation that happened. But that's part of renting that I realized too. Like nothing's permanent, especially if you're dealing with the individual like homeowner. Like that's the risks and benefits as well. So you live and learn, but hey, whatever, you know, it's just like maybe I always try to think the universe is working for me, not against me. At least I try to remember that, you know. And do I truly believe it? Hey, sometimes I don't always feel like believing it. I'm like, damn, like why is shit not working out the way I want to? But I mean, I always just try to think of the grand scheme of things. Maybe I'm just being too short-sighted and stuff. And that's just how I feel, y'all. Yeah. Seth Godin quote says, "If it scares you, it might be worth a good thing to try." Yeah, that's true. I agree with that as well. Like if it scares me, like it's probably a good idea. Yeah, and plus there's the whole I don't know. I gotta figure out my relationship life too as well, like where I eventually want to settle down and do all this other stuff too. So it's been a very like I'm not gonna lie, I've been feeling not I don't want to say lonely out in Boston, but man, like I just don't I almost feel like a prisoner sometimes, like in here, like in Boston. Like I don't have that sense of adventure. I wish I could do things like jujitsu, things like that, you know. I think we all go through it at the moment, but those are some things on my mind. It's just been I've been feeling like I've been stalling out, just living here as well, right? Um, although my business is doing decent. Like I set up some really nice contracts as well that were I'm getting cash flow from that. Um, so I'm really excited to what's coming on, but I know like right now where I am right now, like I'm just in a transition phase as well. Like that's the hard part sometimes too. California taxes are trash. You're telling me, man. That's why I'm considering Nevada. Honestly, if bro, if it wasn't for like the state, like the I don't want to go get into politics and whatnot, but I'm definitely not for the governor of California at all. Like I think he's a hypocrite. I don't like him. And people can beg to differ as well, right? But I think like if California didn't have like such high taxes and all that sort of stuff, it would be one of the best places in the world to live in, honestly. Without all the fucking politics, man, it's crazy. There's so many politics and all that. I think it'd be like the best place to live in, no doubt. Like has that would be amazing, but unfortunately, that's not reality. In order to live in California, you just gotta pay trash taxes, which really sucks sometimes too. Yeah, I think that feeling of anxiety is taking over everyone this last year. It seems like we're waiting for something to happen. Yeah, and I honestly like would argue too. Like, I don't know. Let me ask you guys for the people who are in here too, who are watching the stream. How are you guys feeling? Do you feel like a constant state of anxiety? Do you feel like everything is kind of like being held back? For me, how I feel is that I feel like the I feel like the symptoms of I feel like the effects of how the government has been really handling like things like lockdowns and all that sort of, or the effects of lockdowns, I would say, is probably a lot worse than catching something like COVID. I'm speculating, I'm talking out my ass at the moment, but that's what I feel. Sometimes like have you ever heard sometimes the treatment is worse than the actual disease state, right? That's how I feel with this whole lockdown as well. But then again, being in lockdown has helped me focus a lot more in terms of the things I want to be focusing on. It's helped me build more relationships online as well. So that's a really great thing too. But it hasn't been freaking easy, dude. It's been really tough like being in confinement and not having your relationships and stuff and being impacted financially too. I mean, I totally feel for people who have lost jobs and who worry about like month to month and stuff like that too. Like there's definitely been periods during this year where I was like kind of worried, dude. I was like, holy fuck, like what am I gonna do? Like business is like fluctuating a lot, but just forces me to create more to either lower my expenses, right, for my business, and then also like also build a better business that isn't that I don't want to say is recession proof, but think about more businesses that are not so volatile as well, right? Balancing out the portfolio because when it rains, it fucking monsoons, y'all. But sometimes like that's the risk that you take as a business owner, though. So I know I signed up for it. That's life, but still, for me, I think like one of the most important things too that I've been super aware of too is just like emotional, what's that called, emotional like support and shit. Like I mean, I don't this might sound a little arrogant and whatnot, but I think like in my life so far I've been able to figure out like any problem that's come my way. But the emotional part, the mindset part is one of the hardest things this year for me too. Just try and stay positive, try and stay in state as well. It's one of the hardest things this year, and I haven't. And it wasn't until I hired a therapist and hired a coach where I started noticing like I was feeling a lot happier. But man, like I'm just really blessed to have those resources, man. If I didn't, I'd be really fucked. So there's that. Um, let's see. Red Pill Alpha asks, "What are some of your resources or sources of income after retiring from pharmacy?" I actually have a video about how I made $3,000 in one day, coming out, breaking down like the income sources as well. Um, so I'll give you some idea of like some of the income streams that I have, right? And I'm not going to include shit like stupid crap like, hey, my bank account pays me 1% interest every year. No. And we're not going to talk about like my uh long-term investments like S&P 500, my cryptocurrency, all that sort of stuff, because I wouldn't say that's an immediate source of income. So what I'm going to be talking about is like more cash flow income that comes every single month, and like cash flow that comes every single month, and like the immediate sources of income too. So it'll give you a good idea. So I think one of the immediate sources of income too is like I do high ticket sales. If you guys don't know, if you don't know what high ticket sales is, it's basically like a consultative sell. You basically close deals over the phone. It's a very real business model. People will bitch and complain. It's like not a real business model, but it is a very real business model. People make a lot of money through that. But I've kind of taken a break from being on the phones, and I started a consult like a consulting practice as well. So basically, for one of my clients, I take top line revenue of all their sales. I build out the people, processes, and tools for the team, and that's one way I make money very passively. So I don't really need to be closing these deals or anything like that. It's just very passive, and it's been really, really great. Sometimes it's really been great. Other times it's been like very, very dry. But we are hiring actually some new closers and stuff, so I'm really excited for that. So that's one source of income. Okay. Obviously, what you're watching, let's call. I mean, you guys are watching YouTube. That's another source of income for me in terms of revenue as well. So that's another source of income. Later this month, or actually in like a week or two, I signed on for another client. Going to be doing their high ticket sales and doing that, and so that'll be another source of income too, coming from that as well. So that'll be more immediate sources of cash. I also have a coaching business as well, so doing high ticket sales, high ticket program design as well. So that's another source as well. And I'm probably missing a few, but those are. Oh yeah, and then I have some brokerage, like broker, like referral fees that I collect on a monthly basis. I get like 10% off the deal, or 10 to 20% off the deal, depends how like new they are as well. But if I do like a referral, I usually get like lifetime of the deal and whatnot as well. So those are some passive income streams. I'm planning to do, and then obviously online affiliates and stuff like that too. Like when I do a product review, usually there's an affiliate link. I generate some income through that. So those are pretty much those income streams. A lot of them are. So if I were to sum it up, it's like YouTube, high ticket sales, and then coaching. Well, coaching. I wouldn't say coaching quite yet, because this week I have later interviews later this week. So for interviewing students for my coaching program, I got to release it to public too. I haven't done that, but I'm getting people who are interested in my services as well. So there's that. Red Pill Alpha says, I was about to pursue a field of pharmacy with BS in biochem. That's what I did, man. But I decided I didn't want to be in school debt. Smart decision. I'm currently taking a gap year and got my life together for a PA school. That's awesome, man. PA is really great. My friends are really happy with PA. I actually shot a video about like PA versus pharmacy as well for pharmacists. So that's great, Red Alpha. I'm glad that you're doing that. I think people are exhausted in general and have anxiety about their future. Childbirth rates are down, and this to me means there's uncertainty about the future. Class of 2038 equals tiny. Yeah, it really, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, people don't want to be having kids in this crazy time, although most of my friends are having kids right now because we're about that age. So I don't know. I just need to figure out like, I need to have some. So here's the thing that worries me too, is like having some difficult conversations with like with with certain people in my life. Like for example, the girl I was dating, I need to talk to her and just resolve a few final things as well, and all that. I have to talk to my landlord about like, hey, what's the timeline of me moving out. I also have to talk to figure out the next steps in my life, in terms of like where do I want to relocate to do I want to stay in LA? Is it worth it for me to stay in LA even if everything's locked down? Honestly, to me, I don't think it's really worth it to stay in LA. Like, if everything continues like the way it is, like if if the state's going to handle everything that, I don't know, if everything's continue locked down, I kind of don't want to stay here because I'm paying a premium on something that I cannot access. So there's that. I mean, if I go to Nevada and reset up my business there, right, then there's like a lot of taxes that I don't have to pay, right? And so those are some of the things. I'm not saying like you should absolutely always move because of taxes, but it does factor into a lot of things. And then I also want to go to Asia for a bit and travel there as well, especially once I get some of these more passive income streams set up and going. Like I'd be really, I think that'd be really, really cool. So that's like kind of like what's on the top of my mind at the moment as well. Would you recommend the Pomodoro method for a student that wants to be at top of his classes? I'm currently at 3.7 and I really want to strive for president's list. I only have 2 semesters left. Great question. Um, I would say like deep focus sessions, like they're really good if you want to focus on one thing to get one thing done. Uh, I used to host them on this channel. I haven't done it recently just because honestly, like there was a period when I was doing multiple back to back. I would do 2 to 3 times a day, but it started burning me out pretty hardcore. To be fair, this weekend I wasn't that. I was feeling very, very exhausted this weekend, so I took most of it off. But yeah, like honestly, like I highly recommend Pomodoro. Like deep focus sessions are really, really key, not only in students but like also entrepreneurship as well. And by the way, for those 3 people who haven't, man, or if you're just tuning in, love for you to drop a like, y'all, just to boost the algorithm as well. Have you seen Bling Empire on Netflix yet? Was wondering what you thought as an Asian in LA, man. I haven't seen. Everybody's been asking me, have you seen Bling Empire? Dude, I don't even have Netflix, y'all. Like that's how like off the grid I'm at this point. Heard a lot of great things. I know one of my friends is like interviewing one of the people from Bling Empire and all that. I have not watched that shit at all. So I don't know. So anybody wants to hook their boy up with a Netflix account? No, just kidding. I think like in terms of Bling Empire, like I haven't checked it out. From what I saw, the trailers, like it looks like kind of like an Asian Jersey Shore almost, like that type of thing. But I don't know. Haven't seen it quite yet. So maybe I'll talk about it. Maybe I should watch it and do a video on it, y'all. You should come to Florida. They don't call it Freedom State for nothing. Florida over COVID. Well, yeah, it's crazy. My friend, I was checking out. So my friend slash like she used to watch my channel too back when she did pharmacy. But I was watching her videos or her story, and she was actually in Florida, and she went to Diplo and stuff, which was really crazy because it was really packed. No one was wearing masks or any of that as well. So it's just really, really interesting how these different states are doing it. I don't even know their COVID rates down there or anything like that. But I think like yeah, I'm definitely like more I would say like I'm definitely more open going to a more conservative state like as well, just because of the freedoms and stuff like that we have. And uh yeah, that's just like how I feel, but who knows, like I'm still considering all my options. Leaving LA is not like the primary, like it's not to say I'm absolutely leaving LA, but there's a good high probability that I am considering leaving LA altogether, y'all. So there's that. Freedom state. That's so funny. Yeah, it's so crazy that I saw my friend's crazy story as well. Keep up the good work on your channel, bro. I was a part of the farm club at USULB, and one of the alumni suggested me to sub to your channel. Really appreciate it, Red Pill Alpha. Um, yeah, actually, one of the students, I don't know who that person is, but I think I have a good idea who it is, man. Um, but yeah, I actually spoke at uh, USLB. Sorry, I always get those things mixed up. I actually did a talk there when I was like still a pharmacist and stuff like that. So that was it's pretty cool to see. Like that was probably a really good decision to do more talks. Actually, this year one of my goals too is just to do more virtual summits. So doing more talks. Um, I'm really liking Clubhouse. I've been getting a lot of clients and brokerages through Clubhouse too. So that was really cool. And all that as well. So we got RuneScape Forgotten YouTubers. Hey Kevin, just want to stop by and say hi. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by and taking time out of your day to just pop through. If you guys haven't already, make sure to smash the like button. Would appreciate it. Let's get this spread out to more and more people. Is the Super Bowl still going on, y'all? I don't even know, man. Like right now it's 11:52. Hey Kevin, what do you think about using TikTok to grow as a content creator and transitioning the viewers to YouTube? You could definitely use that, but I think like one of the things too, in terms of like algos and stuff like that. Hold on, is this? I just hear, I just hear like, I just hear a bunch of clicks. Do I need to ban someone? I think I do. Hold on, let me go onto YouTube. Crap, this sucks. I don't have my like mods on and stuff like that. So of course RuneScape. All right, cool. Let's see. Damien says, what do you think about TikTok to grow as a content creator and transitioning the viewers? So in terms of TikTok strategy, like I think TikTok is really great for impressions, right? Like getting your content out there and stuff, but I don't know. Like I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not a very good person to ask about TikTok, honestly, like and doing that. But that's like classic like Gary V strategy. You want like your micro content. I would consider like kind of uh I would consider something like I would consider like TikTok as like micro content as well. Like that's what I consider it as. Um so there's that. Hold on, let me just go into the YouTube channel. Dude, I should get an M1, dude, like M1 Mac. That would be pretty sick. But yeah, like in terms of the conversions over to YouTube, I think like honestly, one of the best ways to grow on YouTube is just like I don't know if you already have like a let's see, let's block you. And guys, if you guys don't like my content, no one's putting a gun to your head. You don't have to stay here. So let's block this shit. There we go. There we go. Hide user. Cool. There we go. Got rid of the spam for now. Probably another spam account's going to come on in a second, but whatever. Okay, cool. So that's my thoughts about like YouTube at the moment, or sorry, YouTube and TikTok at the moment. But I would say like each like I'm still trying to figure out the intrinsic value of like TikTok, right? TikTok is really great for that short content, like that short content that you just want to binge on really quickly. I think it's great for that. I also think that TikTok or Instagram is like very intimate, and I really like the DMing system behind Instagram. People are more willing to talk to you through DM versus like platforms like Facebook. YouTube doesn't really have that type of thing. I like the engagement of YouTube as well. I think that's really cool too. All right. So Alex says, come to Texas. I have an apartment open two for two and $750 per month. Where in Texas are you, by the way, Alex? Kind of curious, bro. AZ says, I also saw you on Joe's vlog. That was so random. Yeah, I mean, Joe visited us up in Boston, and I haven't even talked to. I was in I was in Clubhouse, and we were actually talking to Joe, welcoming him in there. Kind of caught me off guard, just like speaking, but it's kind of cool to see that Joe's super happy. We caught up after almost like a year, dude, and it's just really great to see Joe. Especially in my hometown, and we just grabbed some dinner. We actually went to Le Petit another time after, like with I'm not sure if you remember her, but like Tuano, that's like one of my really close friends. So we were doing that for a little bit, and we had some bomb ass Cambodian food, but it was really just cool, just shooting shit with everyone, just catching up, meeting Joe, some of new Joe's like travel buddies and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that too. So it was really cool. Um, let's see. Kevin and Angela have had amazing chemistry. Sad not to see her on here anymore. Yeah, I mean, so some of the things as well is like I think Angela just wants to be a little bit more private these days. And that's why I don't have her on the channel as much anymore. Like especially when she's starting up a family and stuff like that. That's something that's really really important to her. So we went to her wedding, which was really cool. I vlogged it. I just never posted it up or anything like that. But she's still a great friend. Maybe I'll have her up on like a podcast or something like that. Planning to start a new podcast relatively soon and whatnot as well. Been taking Mike Kim's podcast program, his coaching program. So gotta do assignments for that. But yeah, it's gonna be really really fun. I think like podcasting is really really powerful these days, and since I'm already a content creator, it's just gonna add more content to this channel and have more long form content there too. Let's see. There's definitely Gustavo says there's definitely a lot of rich people in Florida and a lot of opportunities for you. Yeah. I don't know how the taxes are in Florida too. Like I know old people go there retire, but I just was never really in love with Florida just because it's so damn humid during the summer and shit. Like that's something that's really bad. I don't know if my allergies are really bad there too, but and hurricane season, man. But I have no idea what Florida is like. But I never really considered doing that as well. Um, Jeffrey says RuneScape shut it. Yeah, the troll and stuff. I'm very young. Want to get into high ticket closing. Anything I should know? I actually have a free training too, like which kind of breaks down like what high ticket closing is, how to sell on high ticket closing as well. So it won't tell you how to get clients and stuff because that's more nuanced. I have more content coming out on high ticket closing, high ticket sales, but if you go to Ghost, if you're still here, kaizenclosing.com/masterclass, it has my recent like talk about high ticket closing, and it tells you like it kind of breaks down like what's up, kind of breaks down like what the industry is all about and here what's next as well. But I mean honestly high ticket closing is very hard, like hard for a lot of people. It's not for everyone. You need to be in a good place. Like I read a comment earlier today saying like I put in the work, like people ask me for my experience and then I get shut down. And it's like no shit, because they're trying to protect their business. You're not solving the root problem for them as well. And the thing is that they don't trust you. So how are you going to respond in a way that can build trust and all that? I think that's a problem with like a lot of these guru programs too. Like you see these online opportunities to build businesses online, but it takes a certain level of maturity to do it. It's not like it's going to be seamless. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and even as a new closer, like it's very, you have to always stay learning, and it takes a level of sophistication. But when you're 15, when you're 17, you just don't know any better, to be honest with you. Like you really don't know any better in terms of like starting a business sometimes. I mean, some young kids though, they really kill it. They knock it out of the park. They're like really great at a business like this because they have this drive to make anything work, right? But I'm telling you, like a lot of people are just not cut out with it because they come in with a 9 to 5 type of mentality, thinking that everything's going to be handed on a silver plate once you take a high ticket program or some shit like that. Reality is, it's not like that, man. So there's stuff like that as well. Sup Kev, I hope you're good. Uh, Jeff from Rich and Niche. Hey, welcome Jeff. Really appreciate you stopping in, bro. Yeah, just doing a quick stream right now, and yeah, just sharing my Sunday on Super Bowl Sunday. It's gonna be my last stream in Boston, but I'll be back in my hometown of LA just for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm gonna be. I'm hoping I can stay like 3-4 months in LA still because I really enjoy it, but we'll see. Appreciate it. Just got the M1 Air and Mini. You should get it. That's awesome. What did that person say? I wish I knew, but I deleted all the comments, y'all. So I mean, here's the thing on my take on trolls. Like, dude, I don't know who I pissed off or what the hell happened, but around last year there was like some person from the I don't know how they found me. Probably from like the Migto like incel type of group. Like when I shot that one video, it brought a lot of bad attention to my channel, honestly. And ever since then, I've been getting harassed. Like sometimes, like they slide through my emails, DMs, and all that sort of stuff. I reported them multiple times to YouTube and all that as well, because a lot of it is very defamatory too, right? Like there's no basis. Like people are saying I scam people. I'm like, how? I don't really have too many products as well, and the people that are saying that I scam them aren't even students. And that's sometimes like the internet, and I just like I just ignore it. It's just like, dude, when random people like in LA, the homeless population, scream random shit at you, do you get angry? No, you just like block them, delete them, and just move on with your life. They're not my target audience. I'm not trying to help them. There's no way that I'm ever going to change their mind. And it's just like, that's just life, like I just don't waste my mental energy on it. And I wasn't always very good at it, to be honest. I was actually horrible at it. And but these days I'm just in a much better place, and I know where my focus is. And responding to these trolls and all that sort of stuff too, it doesn't help the growth of this channel. It doesn't help the growth of anything. It doesn't make me money. Doesn't I'd rather be spending that time on people like you guys who are watching this, who are asking questions, who are engaging, who actually like my content and are like A1 from day one. Like that's where I should be spending my energy. And as soon as I realize that, I just like anybody that's kind of like an asshole that I don't really like, block, delete, whatever, that's just what I do nowadays. Please make me a mod if you can. I kick like a John Jones. Sure, I'll make you a mod, bro. You can be a mod. Trust you enough, Alex. Here, you're a mod. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. I only remember Angela and Sylvia. Yeah, Sylvia is pretty private these days too, as well. Like I like it's just like some people as they get older, they just want to be a lot more private. They don't want to be public. They don't like there's a lot. And so I gotta respect my friends and what they're going through, especially as they have families and stuff. Like they want to be in a private light. They're free to be in a private light. So there's that. Yeah. Haas says, "Hey Kevin, what's up? What is going on, Haas? How you doing? I always listen to the podcast on Spotify. If you do, upload multiple platforms if possible. I actually have a podcast. It was like Weekly Hustle. I did it like half a year ago, but I stopped. But we are in the middle of doing a podcast as well. So we're gonna be uploading the video format to YouTube, and then we're going to be doing the audio only, obviously, on all the major platforms: Spotify, Apple, and Google Play, or wherever. I don't even know what the Google platform is, but that's what we're planning to do. I'm trying to think of names at the moment. Maybe I should share it with you guys and see like which ones that you like the most. I had a few different ideas, but I haven't solidified one quite yet at the moment as well. How much sleep do you get at the moment? Well, that's a good question. Recently, I've been averaging pretty shitty sleep. If you guys don't know, I have a Aura ring and I have a BioStrap, so I track my HRV and stuff. Recently, it's just been saying, dude, Kevin, you're super, super stressed all the time, yo. So let me see what my sleep was for the last few days. For some reason, my wristband is not connecting. Fuck. Hold on for a second. Let's go into my Aura. Oh, yep. It's just syncing right now. So let's see what's happening with my sleep. It's saying that my sleep efficiency is pretty high, but then my sleep efficiency is really high, but like the actual sleep, I've been averaging 5 to 6, and it's not because because I wake up. It's so crazy. Anything after like 6 is a lot for me now, which is really crazy. But then like today, I just been trying to rest up and sleep throughout the whole day. I've just been so burnt out. Like after doing the virtual summit last week, and then like launching the doing the landing pages for Kaizen closing, and then doing multiple talks. Like I did a few interviews last week too, like in terms of talks like I did, and being on Clubhouse and stuff. I've just been super exhausted, and it's I I don't know why. Like I've just been so exhausted, and plus I'm uploading, trying to get as much content on here before I move. So there's that. But Haz, like really appreciate. Oh, by the way, Haz, really appreciate if you listen to my podcast when it does come out. But yes, that's my sleep schedule. Usually I go to sleep around 9, which is like an hour ago. Sometimes 11, but I try not to go to sleep at like too late, because the later I start my day, the crankier I get, and like the less efficient I get as well. So there's that. Um, I think you broke RuneScape. You broke RuneScape heart. Imagine having such a sad life. They have to come here and troll. Please, Kevin, be aware of random pests. You're awesome. Thank you, man. I'm gonna save that to my thank you folder, dude. I love it. Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's part of like YouTube, man. Like, I mean, I've kind of accepted like that's just like, that's just a path to greatness. um and recently I've just been like more focused on just like the positive and stuff. Like, for example, I'll show you this like comment that was really great. It was on Joe's channel. Let's see if I have it. Yeah, so I'll show you like the screen and shit too. Hold on for a second. So nope, that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is preview. Yeah, can you guys see this comment? So this was a comment I recently got, and let me I'm gonna hide yours, Gustavo, for a second. But I got this right, and I make it a big effort now to just try to respond to everyone that I can. But one of the comments was, "Hey, really good to see you. Such been a long time. You should check out his channel too." Hey, I think the real. I was like, I forgot what I said. This isn't the full screenshot. I had another screenshot one. Maybe I lost it. I gotta re-upload it. But basically it said, hey, I think the real appreciation goes out to you for all the helpful advice you give on your live streams and the time that you take out of your day just to talk and listen to people. It's really deserving of recognition. I know that you maybe don't hear enough, but I really appreciate you, your advice, your grind, and everything you do. I hope you know you've helped ordinary people like myself, and I'll always come for full circle. Much love and respect, Kevin. Man, those comments, like, honestly, they just warm my heart so much, man. And that's why I don't try to deal with bullshit like people who don't appreciate my content, people who are just like kind of trolling me and shit. Like, i don't I don't want to spend my energy and emotional like fuel on that sort of stuff anymore. Yeah, and it's like, especially when I'm so, and I have to be high energy all the time. Like when I do sales, I have to be high energy, have to be in positive state. When I do YouTube, I have to be in a positive state, high energy. Like, I know I'm not like, yo, what's up? Like, I'm not like that anymore, dude. Like, I'm kind of mellowed down a lot since like my early YouTube days, but still, I need to be in a good state, and I can't like, your energy is your most important thing that you have to protect as well. So yeah, appreciate all y'all like who really support my channel, who like drop comments. Your comments like don't go unnoticed. I have a whole thank you screenshot type of thing as well, which I started back in 2000, probably within the last 2 years. I started documenting them more as well. So there's that. Okay, so all you gotta remember is trolls are your biggest fans. Yeah, the biggest fans I don't really want, right? That RuneScape guy actually loves you. Well, yeah, you probably seen it. Like they always have like I don't know, like they had like for a while I was getting trolled like by this like clan or something. Like they would write CX. I don't know if it's one person. They say they're from Venezuela or whatever. Like I don't know. I looked into it in the past because it really bothered me. But they came from this like this community called like Ice Poseidon or Ice Poison or something like that. And I was like, why am I spending so much time on that? Like it came to the point where it's like, why am I spending so much time on this? And I was just like, I don't know. I just report, block, and let YouTube handle the rest. It's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to correct these people. It's not my responsibility to defend myself for like things I didn't do and all that sort of shit. So I don't know, man. That's just how I feel. um by the way, are you still in contact with Sylvia? It's been a while since she's been on here. Yeah, I've been in contact with Sylvia. I mean, I saw her when she came back to Boston. And I also hit her up we were talking earlier today. She was asking me about like my experiences being in like a union pharmacy and all that sort of stuff too. and then just following her on Instagram. But I also told her that a good chance I'm leaving LA too. So we'll see. I mean, Sylvia's the true homie. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like I've been able to track all these friends in my life where we have nothing in common or very little in common, but we still kick it. And that's why I believe like having good energy is like always very, very important, and not to be so dismissive of people as well. So something I'm trying like I will probably need to do out in Vegas. But if I do go out to Vegas, man, I can hit Dre's on Sundays. I can just take a flight back in an hour and stuff and go visit LA. There's so much I can do as well that will be really, really great as well. So I'm trying to look at things very positively rather than like, oh crap, I gotta move all my stuff and all that sort of stuff. It's hard though. Like, it's not easy sometimes, but that's part of being like, I've just been trying to be a lot more stoic in terms of the way I feel these days. Just have a little bit more compassion for myself, but yet be also very stringent and disciplined too. I was listening to Jocko and I was like, yeah, man, I really don't feel like getting out of bed today and shit, right? But I've been feeling this way for the last 4 or 5 days, honestly, just the burnout and not being able to sit down and do things as well. So I've been doing a lot, y'all, like a lot. And I know my body kind of needs to rest at the moment as well. Oh, are the old ones still on? I will check them out. Yeah, they are. It's called Weekly Hustle. I'm not sure if it's on Spotify. I think it's on Spotify, but I gotta check. But regardless, you're gonna see new episodes on that same feed. So it's gonna be a different name. We're gonna change all that sort of stuff too. So it's gonna be really, really good. I'm probably gonna target it toward. I was thinking about naming it, like I'll probably post it on my community later too, and just get your opinions. But I was thinking about like Asian Entrepreneur on Fire, or like Dear Asian Entrepreneur, or like it's kind of like what I want to do is like really target back into like the refugee hustle like mentality and image as well, where it's like people want to be shakers and movers in the world. And what is some of the advice that I would give myself as an entrepreneur, as just like a young Asian American, or as just someone who's just really driven in the world, someone that's really driven, who wants to do really great things, who might not have the support, maybe doesn't have the support of their parents, maybe doesn't have like a great friend group. How do you start over and stuff? And I think that's been really, really important to me. And that's the content I actually really like. One of the things I realized, that's the content I really enjoy. I really enjoy like my recent topics on this channel, like some more personal development things. Some of the closing stuff is cool, the factual type of stuff, but I think it's time to go back to the stories and stuff. Like that's what made the magic of this channel, I think, like originally. And I think I lost myself in the SEO and like 3 quick tips and trying to launch a business on YouTube and stuff. But I've been watching, like, if you guys aren't familiar, I've been watching like a few channels. I've been watching Ice One Cubed. I don't know if that's his name. Frank, he has amazing stories of vulnerability. I want to share more of those type of stories as well, both in like an entrepreneurial light and also in both in an entrepreneurial light and just like my personal life too, because that's personal development and business are like, you have to do both at the same time in order to do something like that. So there's that. Another person I've been watching is Malin Darris, and both are like very long form content. Frank is like a little bit more like, he's like the Asian American type of thing vibe. And then Malin is pretty cool because he's like this white guy, but he's very wise, man, the way he speaks. And he's very like, I don't plan out my content. Coffee, cheers. This is what I want to talk about today. And this is what you get. And so he talks about affiliate marketing. He talks about so many damn things, which is really, really cool. So I enjoy that type of style of content more recently. You big pro. You big pro. I'm not sure if you mean you big bro. You're big bro, but appreciate it, man. What do you want to do? Stay in LA or NA? It seems like it's up to a landlord. Yeah, it is up to a landlord. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna like. I think like I can either look for another place in LA, or I could go to Las Vegas as well. So I'm open to both. Funny enough, like one of my clients, they actually do real estate for high ticket sales. So I had to learn real estate last week. Like I crammed it all in. That's why I'm probably really exhausted too. I had to learn real estate really, really quick, like super quick. And to talk like enough about it, like how to structure deals with creative financing, subject to seller finance, all the major key players. To be honest, I don't really understand everything in real estate quite yet, but it's going to take time for me to get comfortable with real estate too. So there's that. But seems really interesting. Maybe I'll cut some deals out in Las Vegas, man. But what do you want to do? I'm leaning more toward Las Vegas at the moment. I was even thinking about moving back to Boston, but I don't think I'd be really happy here, to be honest with you. So like this is like more of a place where I want to go like maybe quarterly or something like that, not like indefinitely for sure. I know that. I'm 18. I finally have enough money saved for HTC course, which I'll be buying soon. Been doing Tony Robbins morning ritual for a lot of days now, feeling confident and energetic. Any advice? Gustavo, first thing, man, like um I'm going to be doing one-on-one coaching and stuff too as well. So if you're interested in that, hit me up in the DMs. We'll show you all the stuff about closing. So there's that. But more importantly, make sure it's for you, man. Like really, take my master class as well. Like I basically did a virtual summit and it's like 2 hours of content about what a high ticket program is and how to sell one, the tactical as well. And then in the email sequence, I think I have like slots opening for my coaching services as well. So if you're interested in that, it's around the same price. Like the beta, this first launch of program is around the same price as HTC as well. So if you're interested in that, you want to work more closely with me, hey, let me know, Gustavo, as well. But it's not for the faint of heart as well. I'm just warning people, like closing is not easy. Dude, I think you love Bling Empire. You definitely like Kevin. He has a TED talk on Asian masculinity, which is noteworthy. I'll check it out, man. If it's really that solid, like maybe I'll ask my brother, see if okay, so maybe I'll ask my brother if he has Netflix, but if he doesn't, then I'll just buy Netflix and just write off as an expense. But I really appreciate it, man. Like, I'll take a look at it. This dude on Bling Empire said he has a place downtown for 1,000 plays per month. You can definitely find a place if you want to stay, but I don't know if you want to. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to at the moment either. I just like I think like, so this is my decision matrix like of what I'm gonna do. It's like, first of all, I'm planning to go to my landlord, see how much time I have, right? Then assess all my options, right? I've talked to my uncle too in Las Vegas, and he said he would let me crash there for free. So what I'm thinking about is perhaps taking all that rent money and doubling down on my YouTube channel. So maybe hiring a writer, hiring another video editor to do like some of the nicer B-roll edits as well. Think about what the best way to reinvest that capital is. Even getting a virtual assistant would be really, really solid for me, so I'm not doing everything all at once. I think that would be really cool. Maybe getting a virtual assistant to book more speaking gigs as well. I think that would be really, really good to do. And yeah, doing that. So I'd be super, super happy with that as well. But $1,000 per month is pretty damn cheap though. So I don't know. Maybe I'll consider it. Maybe I'll move back into Kate. Like, but honestly, like one of the things I want to get to a point where I don't want to necessarily own like real estate and all that sort of stuff too. I think like one of the major things for me is like I always wanted those, like, you see like those people like on Sunset and Vine, or like those apartments where they have the clear windows and stuff. I want that type of apartment, man. Like I want to live at one of those for at least a year or so and create killer content and just write it off. And so that's what I'm thinking is like making my residential address making my residential address in like Vegas, right? On my uncle's place, and then perhaps like renting out a studio specifically for shooting or office as well. I think that would be really, really cool, and making that apartment like a cool office as well. So that's what I'm thinking. That way I can write it off as well So I think that would be really, really cool. Let's see. Link if you want to check it out to TED Talk. Interesting. I'm definitely interested in investing myself. I'm getting a credit card in 7 days. I don't mind spending lots of money on courses. Where can you find my digital program? Well, if you go to kaizenclosing.com/masterclass, this is like kind of like the main thing, and then closing.com/coaching. These are my coaching services as well. So that has a breakdown on both of these as well. So check them both out, man. Yeah, I interview everyone. So that's something I'm going to be running with this. We're going to be starting late, like March, or like in March as well. So it's going to be one-on-one / group coaching, depending how many people there are. If there's a lot of people, like I'm trying to max it to like 3 people, maybe 5 max, just because I want to test out the process. And then I'm going to be launching a smaller program too, like more of a tactical but no coaching. But all my one-on-one students will get that training for free, so complimentary. So there's that. Do you have a cash backup? Most people only have 3 to 6 months of cash reserves first. And also, like, if you're getting a credit card in 7 days, man, just be very, very careful about throwing yourself in major credit card debt too, bro. Like this, you're playing a lot. Like, I know you could do the 0% interest thing and just put on a card and all that sort of stuff, but if you don't have a client quite yet, just be very, very, very careful as well. Like that's what I would say to you as well, Gustavo. So, but it might be worth it to invest in yourself, but just be very, very careful with like credit card debt. I know that if you're really young, like you just gotta be super, super careful. So that's the state of that at the moment as well. So yeah. Let's see. Whew. Def crash with the uncle. That sounds like an amazing plan. Yeah. So that's why I'm considering something like Las Vegas, because taxes are a lot cheaper. Not having to pay for rent for like about a year or so. I obviously want to give my uncle something too. Like it's not like I just want to take, man. Like I want to give something back to my uncle, but there's that. So, but I think it's like really worth it to reinvest that rent money back into whether it's cryptocurrency as well, or like back into the business somehow. I think that's really, really, really worth it. I mean, if I can do that, like, dude, just 1 month or 2 months of like staying with my uncle honestly pays for M1, right? I can use that to edit more videos, so my videos aren't so choppy. So all that sort of stuff. But you know, like, hey, like honestly, um, either way, it's not a big deal. But I just want to make sure the most important thing is that I'm moving closer to my goals, my relationship goals, my health goals, and all that sort of stuff too. So I need to do what's best for myself at this time. That's why I'm saying, like, if I stay out in Vegas, it might just be temporary too. It's not forever. It's not a forever decision. I love LA, man. LA is like my favorite place. Like it's like Disneyland. I think it'd be really cool to do a hub in LA and do a hub in Las Vegas, and I would go back and forth. I think that'd be really, really cool. But yeah, it really depends, honestly. So yeah. Okay, guys, we're coming up at the top of the hour. People are starting to drop off as well. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure smash the like button too. But before we sign off today, are there any final questions that you guys have as well, in terms of anything, like any Q&A type of things, anything else? Let me ask you guys, what are you guys up to this week? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to? And as far as me, like I said, I'm going back to LA. Got some uncomfortable conversations coming up within this week. Have a new closing client next week. I have interviews for some of my coaching clients as well coming up this week. A lot of things are coming up this week. Just feeling a little bit of transition. It's not like I'm nervous, right? That's not the word, but it's just like that anticipation of like, you don't know what's next, but either way, like it might be really good, might be really bad, but I mean, good or bad are just like your perception, like as well, like how you look at this situation. Things might not actually always be bad. And that's why I'm saying, like, the universe is working for me, not against me as well. That's what I always try to remember as well. I'll have 2 to 2.5 months of cash reserve. Definitely thankful and interested in some guidance. Yeah, Gustavo, why don't you DM me, man? Like that's something that's really, really important too. Look through the coaching first. Like look through the masterclass first. Look through the coaching. Um, Message me like after you go through that, and like let's shoot for like if you can get that done with by like Wednesday and stuff, because I'm going to be releasing it to a public very soon. So um there's that. You're gonna But yeah, just go through that sort of content first and see if that's up your alley. You can even 2x or 3x it. Recommend that you have pen and paper too, going through that as well. How much would you be earning as a pure high ticket closer with one client? It really depends, man. There's a lot of different factors to consider in terms of high ticket closing too. It's like where do you get your first client? How do you add value even if you have zero experience with people without like cold calling and stuff? Like there's tactical stuff like that. And plus like if there's any opportunities that fly up on my radar, like more than happy to kind of refer you based off your skill level. But I'll be very transparent. If you're very new, like these are my relationships. Like I'm not going to screw anyone, but like at the end of the day, like at least you have some sort of connections or something like that. I can ask like within my community as well, try to throw you on any opportunities. That was the one thing that was HTC was missing, was one, natural closing wasn't like, I don't use anything from HTC at all. The only good thing about HTC was the really connections, and I met a lot of great friends through that. And so that's the one thing that I really loved. But yeah, there's all these nuances. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are in here still aren't probably interested about closing and stuff. But it really depends. It really depends as well. But I've made as much as like 1 week. Like I've made as much as like 4,000 in 1 week, and I made as little as $50 in 1 week. So it really depends on your client and what you're trying to do as well. All right. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for the weekly stream. Next time I will see you will be in my old studio apartment, which I'm really, really excited. Just gonna enjoy the last moments I have with that and all that as well. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Take care. Peace, money people. Bye.